Peter, Executive Director 4, and I'm real happy to have Rebecca Connor, Corporate Director 3, on the phone with me this morning. Hi, Rebecca. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you, Janice?
I'm fine. I'm really excited about our promotion this month, and we have a whole week left for everybody to continue to go for the $1,000.
I know. Actually, I thought, it would be good for you and I to just kind of bat around, how when we were building our business, we would approach something like, you have a week left, and maybe at this point, either you yourself or someone that you're working with hasn't even started the enrolling process. And it's easy to get a little discouraged and feel like, okay, I don't have enough time in the month, and maybe I'm not going to be able to achieve what I set out to achieve. And I think that that's something probably that would be helpful if you and I could talk about. How would we have handled this back in the day when we were building? Yeah. And, what's funny is, Janice, I think we never saw Melaleuca offer something as generous as $1,000 for reaching director. Do you ever remember that? No,
I don't.
Many moons ago. And, I know that both of us have had often, we've had individuals that we've enrolled, and even at literally the last day of a month, that we have had the opportunity to help become a director, and that's without the $1,000. So for us, when you look at, gosh, there's a week left in February to achieve that and to basically win such a big pot of money from Melaleuca for that, that effort. It's really, there's plenty of time, don't you think?
Oh, there's plenty of time, no question about it. We have an entire week, and people have done it in one day. So, one or two days. I've had lots of people who, have come on board at the end of the month and decided they wanted to be director that month, and within 2 or 3 days they were director. So we have plenty of time.
Well, let's talk about a couple of different avenues that individuals would utilize to be able to accomplish reaching director with a minimum of 8 customers to earn the $1,000. And then I also want to talk about something that I think is really important, and that is the mindset that you need to have as well. After we kind of just give some ideas, okay? Does that sound like a good idea to you?
Yeah. Sounds great. Yeah.
Well, one thing, it's funny. We also never really utilized much. It wasn't a big thing, and I'm talking, sounding like we're ancient, but 10 and 11 years ago, when we first started building our Melaleuca business, there wasn't a lot of us using webcasts. I don't really, really recall that we really took advantage of that. And so that's something that I know that a lot of people are doing today, and it makes it really easy. And I know, Janet, you happen to be someone who, even just like last night, use it even, around the globe. I know you were presenting all the way in Hawaii, weren't you?
Yes, yeah, and that's exactly right. When we started our business, we really didn't have the technology to allow us to do this. We didn't have a great, Melaleuca presentation to use online. And,
so you've got it down, Janet, too.
Yeah.
I have to compliment you on that.
Yeah, and frankly, our organization has webcast online every single day of the week, just about. And not only that, what I've tried to remind people, and I want to remind them again on this call, is that, this is a business that I do full-time. I know you're full-time. A number of our other leaders are full-time with Melaleuca. And so if someone is trying to, get somebody to an overview and they're not available when our calls are scheduled, they should never hesitate to pick up the phone and call me and say, they can't make it at 7:30, but they can do it at 3 p.m. this afternoon. Because
right, I agree.
I can, I'm available to help them do that.
And with that said, also to over-invite, not just set up one appointment at a time, because you could get a number of people that, you're going to individually call them back to set their accounts up, but you can start off by extending that schedule to, a dozen, of your people in your prospect list, and then following up and saying, are you going to be on the call? The call's in an hour. I'm really looking forward to your hearing what Melaleuca has to offer. And actually, that's the way I like to phrase it, is I really want you to hear what our company has to offer to someone like yourself. And whether it be from a consumer standpoint or from a business standpoint, I mean, you can kind of say a few more phrases that might make it feel more appropriate for them. I always like to add, I thought of you because, so if I were calling you, Janice, it would be, Janice, I want you to get on a call to get an overview about what Melaleuca would have to offer to someone like yourself, because I know that you're, a really smart businesswoman, and you're always looking to find out, what other things are out there that can generate another stream of income into your household. And that was really how you and I even initially met, was you were looking for an extra stream of income. However, if you were, let's just say, you're someone that's just conscious about the environment, or maybe you have a child that has asthma, that would be the way that I would say it, is I thought of you, Janice, because your son, Josh, who really struggles with asthma, could really benefit from the home cleaning products that Melaleuca has, because they don't have any harsh chemicals. Just whatever it is, to add that, I thought of you because, really makes a difference. And I have always tried to make this really personal. I've never been one to invite via Facebook or just, messaging people. I mean, that's perfect to do as a follow-up or as a reminder, but you have to give that personal invite. And I know, like with you and I, we would be speaking to each other in a way of, Janice, it would mean so much to me to have you on that call. Sometimes when I was crunched for a goal, I would even say, I'm only a couple of customers away from the goal that I set this month for myself. And, so if you like what you hear, it would really just mean a lot to me, to help you, this month. And so that's just, sometimes you have to give a little bit of persuasion without making someone feel uncomfortable, but in a way that's really just kind of caring. The other thing go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I agree totally with it. And the other thing is that I want to remind people who are new, I can't say strongly enough, there's a tendency to want to do an email blast or a Facebook blast or something like that. And, it seems like that's the easy solution. It never works. It just doesn't work. You need to have a personal connection with people and reach out to them. And I love your ideas about, telling people why you're calling them. I thought of you because. And the other thing that I would mention, if you're brand new and you're just getting started, and you're thinking, I only have a week, I don't think I can make this happen in a week, there are a couple of things you have to really remind yourself. First of all, you can make a lot of calls in 30 to 40 minutes, okay, because you really shouldn't be on a call with each individual more than a couple minutes. You should, start your call by telling them, look, I know you're really busy, I'm really busy, I'm making a lot of calls, and I only have a few minutes, but I wanted to call you because, and as Rebecca said, either I thought of you, or you can say, I'm so excited. A friend of mine recently introduced me to Melaleuca, and I think this makes so much sense. And you know what? I thought of you, Rebecca, because you have so much experience with this kind of thing. You're a good businesswoman. You're, you really care about the health of your family. Would you please do me a favor and just take a look at a 30-minute overview. I promise I won't waste your time, but I really would love to know what you think after you see it. It would mean so much to me. Would you just join me on a call? You know, we have them every single day. I'm sure that I can work something out that works with your schedule. And that brief.
Sorry, Janice.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that's not too dissimilar, just leading into inviting people to an in-home, is it? I mean, it's kind of, that's the same idea, except you're saying, I really want you to come to my home. It's no different, guys. It's just, you know, I want you to come to my home. I want you to come to my friend's house. I'll meet you there. I'll pick you up, whatever it is. You know, we're just going to, you know, and you know, I promise you, you're going to be glad that I invited you, you know, when you hear, you know, what Melaleuca is about. And that's, you know, the same kind of thing. It's just to stay, you know, engaged like that with that kind of like, you know, it's something that, you know, at least for us, you always have a story to tell, whether it be, you know, my really good friend has been shopping this way for 10 years, and she loves it. Or, you know, I've tried the products myself, and to tell you the truth, I really wasn't even sure that I would be interested, and I'm so glad that I went, and you're going to feel the same way too. So however, you know, you want to couple it, but the same thing, have a little bit of a sense, you know, that your friend needs to trust your, you know, little story, your experience, whatever it is, and it needs to be kind of brief so that you can make the next call and the next call. This isn't where you hang up 40 minutes later. The number one thing that happens that hurts people is they start to really almost present Melaleuca instead of inviting someone to a Melaleuca overview. And so you never want to get into any of the nitty-gritty of, you know, you're going to love shopping every month, or, you know, you're going to want a value pack. I got one too. Or it's just a shopping, you know, 35 product points. So really, that will help you by making the invite as brief as possible. If anyone is asking you questions, you could say, that's all going to be gone over. You know, I don't want to do you a disservice now because I've got, you know, several calls that I'm making, and so I just want you to be there, or, you know, I just want you, you know, to make this time. I know that you're busy, but I just want to make sure that you're going to be able to do that, you know, so that you're really not looking to spend 40 minutes on the phone. And it's just a really healthy way to invite. Nice, short, and sweet, that kind of thing.
The other thing, Rebecca, I think really need to reinforce is do not screen your list. Just anybody you know who is, you know, has hair, skin, you know, teeth, you know, babies even. I mean, you know, I have people who say to me, oh, I know that those people are in serious financial condition and they would never be interested. And they're the very people who need Melaleuca. They might be very interested. And so
that is so true.
Judgments. Yeah, you're making judgments about who you think may or may not be interested. Give that person the benefit of the doubt that once they see this, they can decide for themselves. And how many people do we know in the company who came to Melaleuca when literally they didn't have a dime and said,
well, Estoso, largest business today, you know, exactly. in all of Melaleuca. Exactly. I mean, perfect example. Frankly, Janice, you or I, although we might not have been in a dire, straight situation, we would have been, both of us, someone that other people would have prejudged and said they would never be interested, you know, for a multitude of reasons. And both of us not only ended up, and we probably, even ourselves, I know that's true for both of us, were initially reluctant. I mean, it took me 6 weeks to say yes to Kim Cerveni, and it took me hounding you several times to please come. And so you and Rafael Rojas, another great example, 5 years. I mean, that's a little extreme. But you just, you know, so you can't give up on people either. I think that what I just want to remind, just to take it back to the $1,000 this month, or really whatever your goal is, and for a lot of a lot of people on this call, you may have a large goal. You want to hit Director 3 this month. You want to hit, whatever it is, Director 4, 5, 6. You're doing it, generally speaking, by helping others to earn this $1,000. So focus it in your own, goals with the same mindset. How you achieve something at Melaleuca is by sticking with your goal in a mindset that says no matter what. There is an obstacle, a reason, a fear, a disappointment that you're going to have that every executive director and corporate director at Melaleuca hasn't had, and times 10. So don't think that your situation is unusual, whether it be bad weather, whether it be you feeling a little down and discouraged, whether it be, you've had something disappointing happening, you enrolled who you thought was going to be the greatest customer and they just canceled. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that you keep moving forward. It's when you stop and you dwell on it and you just basically talk yourself out of it. I was just speaking with someone this morning and I was saying the reason why the reward is so great at Melaleuca is because there's a lot of people, I think, that can say something to themselves that backs them away from the goal. And don't be one of those people. Change your life. Go after it. Melaleuca pays us really generous. No matter whether it's $1,000 a month that somebody's generating, and every month they go out to their mailbox and they open it up, and there's a $1,000 check on the 15th of every month that Melaleuca is sending them. The world is full of people who want that and need that. And there's a lot who are getting that. And then there's obviously many, many, many who are getting much more of a profound financial impact from Melaleuca. So you have to put yourself out a little bit in order to receive that generous reward that Melaleuca provides. And that's just something that I just want for everybody to push aside, all the reasons and just go for it. And how both of us, Janice, and everyone, like I said, that has reached the level where they're earning, $10,000 and more a month, or $5,000, or whatever the goal is, it's because they really had to make a decision to say, I'm doing this. And they push aside, the reasons not, that's in their way, and they go for it. This $1,000 right now, to help somebody do that, you could literally this month, in the course of a week, you can develop 3 directors. Forget one, but it's your mindset. And so that's kind of like, I think, the biggest message, Janice, that I think that, I want to give is you want to jump in and just do it. And when you're at that presentation, make sure that you are really helping that person to enroll right then. Don't leave it so loose. A lot of times, when we present at in-homes, or even if you're doing an online presentation, what really, really helps the presenter is when you, the person who's doing the inviting, when you kind of come back around and say, Janice, I want you to just trust me on this. I know you liked what you heard, and I want you to just trust me. This is definitely something that you want to, set up an account and to try the products for. So let's get that going. And you come around, and I got a value pack. Let me tell you why you're going to want a value pack. The credibility with the person who invited you is so much more important, in my opinion, even than what the presenter has said. Because the presenter can do a really great job, but if you, the person either hosting the in-home or actually the person who invited the guest, does not come back around now to your friend and kind of reaffirm, it doesn't have nearly, the effect as it would if you do that. Do you find that to be true, Janice, in your...
Yes, because I might be presenting and I can do the best job in the world, but I don't have a relationship with the guest. The person who invited the guest to either the in-home or to an online presentation is the person with the relationship. And, what we know is that people will frequently set up an account because they know us, like us, and trust us. And they won't continue shopping for those reasons. They only continue shopping because they love the products. But that is where the faith comes in. My good friend, Rebecca, has recommended this to me. I'm willing to give it a try because I know her, like her, and trust her. But if it's not that, if it's not your friend who's asking you to do it, you don't really have a good reason to take it on faith that this is a really great thing, even if the best presentation in the world has been presented to you. So,
as you know, both you and I always do.
The guest. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I think we've probably nailed this for everyone. I just want to say, make this, when you open that Leadership in Action, and maybe for those of you listening, you need to just pull out your magazine and open it up and look at those stories and know that what I'm telling you is that every one of those stories that you see in there is from somebody who didn't let the month end without reaching their goals. So reach your goals. Let's just make this month the biggest month that you could possibly have. Melaleuca has rolled out so many things for everybody to take advantage of, and probably my favorite, we're focused on the 1,000, but my favorite is getting convention paid for. So a lot is still left on the table. And so please make sure that this is your month. And Janice, thanks for taking the time to invite me as well to be a part of this call. I hope that it has, the impact that we want it to. And I wish everybody all the best. Thank you, Janice.
Thanks, Rebecca. Thanks, everybody. Let's end the month strong. Okay.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.